changes revealed in the budget will raise up to £520 million per year. But farmers and campaigners say they threaten the future of thousands of family farms. I'm joined now by Tim Chambers, a farmer who's one of the biggest raspberry growers in the country. Very good morning to you, Tim. You just tell how many raspberries do you grow?
About 3,200 tonnes of raspberries on our farms in Kent.
3,000 tonnes. And you're just telling me all of them are hand-picked?
Every single one of those is hand-picked.
So I don't know how many individual raspberries that is.
Hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions of hand-picked. What's the workforce for that?
About 2,000 people through the summer season.
And talk me through your views on this inheritance tax rule change. Could that threaten the jobs of those people or not?
It definitely threatens jobs. It threatens livelihoods. It threatens the rural community. Inheritance tax is a cost to the business, a cost to farming. Farmers generally have worked long hours for very little return, and the bonus was that you got to hand your farm on to your children or beneficiaries at the end of your life. If you add on inheritance tax, you have to change that dynamic. You have to start making money because it's just a cost. So it's not the biggest reason why we're here. It's the whole of the farming community has frustrations over government, inheritance tax, pushed onto us, rewilding, environmental, energy, all of that is diminishing farming returns.
Talk to me about some of those other ones then that we don't discuss as much. I mean, rewilding, you get paid for that. Do you not?
You get paid, but it's minimal compared to what you should be earning from food production. And rewilding, from a greater good point of view, is taking away food or land that could be used for food production. And then when we hear we should be on a war footing, we should be concerned about national security, about food sustainability, are we rewilding, or we're using good agricultural land to produce solar or biomass fuels? It doesn't make sense. I mean, if we have an issue in the future...
But is there a greater good to it? I mean, that was your phrase.
Yeah, there is a greater good to it. If the government wants us to be secure, have sustainable food where we know the provenance, we know the quality of it, it needs to be grown in the UK.
How close are we as a nation to being self-sustaining on our food production?
I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe that somewhere around 60% of food in the UK will hold the UK population. But we still import 40% of the food. We're doing free trade deals with various nations around the world which don't have the same standards of food production as we do. And they're coming into this country at a cheaper price than we can afford to do it here because government policy is pushing cost onto us.
But it's really interesting, Tim, here you outline all these factors. So is the inheritance tax rule the final trigger for you to want to protest, as opposed to the sole reason?
It's just one other thing, yes. But it does...
But if they U-turned on that, would you go quietly back to the day job?
No, there's still issues. The cost of farming in the UK just doesn't really return the money that you would need on a normal business model. Farmers work long hours, often way below the minimum wage, to supply food. It is not sustainable that way. If you took away the inheritance tax, there is still farms are still amalgamating. There's still reducing number of farms because of the profitability of farming.
Just to wrap things up for me, I mean, are you expecting the government to U-turn on this? I know a lot of...
No, they won't U-turn.
So what's going to happen? Are you going to keep protesting once a month for...
we just need, as a rural community, as a farming community, to show the government that there is a feeling and that they have to listen to us. They're not going to change what their view is at the moment. Food prices will go up. Competition in farming will go down. And imports will increase because free trade deals allow them to swamp our country with cheaper food.
So how does that all make you feel? How are you going to react? I guess it's going to wait for the next election.
It's frustration, isn't it? Just frustration that you have a perfectly reasonably good model working now where farmers are producing food. Yes, we do get subsidies from the government, which go to maintain a profit level which allows us to continue, but you're throwing all that out, the baby with the bathwater, for what? A corporate view of farming where if corporate businesses take over farms, they will not do it for nothing. Mm-hmm. They will have to make returns on capital, they will look at their P&L, their balance sheets, and they will force food prices up.
Well, Tim, it's been really interesting getting your perspective today. When do you start picking those, how many did you say, hundreds of millions of raspberries?
We'll start on the UK production. We'll start sometime early May, and we'll go on till early December.
So May is when we should really start eating British raspberries.
You'll see all British soft fruits in the shelves from April onwards from glass houses, and then right till the end of the year.
It's just raspberries that you guys do?
No, we do all the berries and top fruit as well. So
there we go.
We grow a lot of fruit.
We missold you in the intro. Biggest raspberry farmer in the country, but other fruits too.
Well, yeah, that'll do.
There we go. Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you
Good
very much.
to have your perspective. Tim Chambers.